So, Danny, I would say that we're close, right?
Sure.
Like,
until I hear the end of this cold open.
We're friends.
Yeah.
We work together. You know, sometimes we hang out. Sometimes you're too busy. Most of the time, you're too busy. So I'd like to think that our friendship has blossomed into this beautiful thing.
Okay.
But I've also never had a friend who sent me a shirtless mirror selfie with the deuces up. And it's new uncharted territory for me. I'm excited to see where our friendship goes from here. It's just, I felt as though it was a new area for me to explore with another man as a friend.
This is way worse than your original cold open.
Yeah, this is take 2 for recording the podcast, by the way.
What do you want from me, Nick? What do you want? I hate your cold opens.
I love my cold opens, personally.
I'm never ready for it. It's always an attack.
The day you're ready for it is the day my cold open isn't cold enough.
Listen, here's the freezing ice open that Nick is referring to. I sent Nick a picture. What caused it? I don't even remember why I sent it. We're talking about we're talking about physiques.
Well, there's a longer trail to it, actually, than just physiques.
Okay.
Can I tell a little story?
Tell a little story.
Okay. So my girlfriend, love her half to death. Her name's Dorothy. Some of you might have heard of her. She used to be an incredible color guard athlete. Very in shape. Like ran miles every single day, trained all summer long for color guard, and you have to be, because you got to throw the sabers and march into place. Do you know what color guard is?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's only a thing out here. It's not an East Coast thing at all.
Color guard?
Color guard is
color guard.
Color guard.
Okay.
Everybody chooses
she
a color.
Enlisted?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Well, actually, so yeah.
Okay.
I mean, color guard, they do it in the Marines or the Navy or something.
Oh, crazy.
So it's everybody has flags. It's marching band, but way more pretentious. And they all have their cool outfits, and they have flags and swords. They throw them in the sky, and they have fake guns they throw up, and they do it in the Marines or something. They spin the guns and they catch them.
Right.
You've never seen that?
Yeah.
So she competed in that, and it's really big on the West Coast, kind of like men's volleyball. Doesn't exist out on the East Coast, very much exists out here. So she used to be a really good athlete doing that, and nowadays she doesn't do anything. You and her probably have a similar amount of steps in a day, 50 to 100 steps.
Roughly 50. Yeah.
It's the trip from the house to the kitchen, or the bedroom to the kitchen, kitchen to car to office to car, and to repeat. So probably 200 steps maximum.
Yeah, that's triple what I do.
Exactly.
On the days I eat, it's roughly
the
50.
days that you eat.
Yeah, the days I decide to eat.
Because those are just sprinkled loosely in throughout the week. God knows whatever will happen. Danny will just be boiled chicken today. I guess I'll make the
I gotta
trip.
keep my physique.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
which you've seen now.
I have. I've gotten a very good glimpse of it. And do I have permission to set it at the stank for a little
I guess
B-roll
so.
here?
Yeah, just as long as I want to preface.
Blur out the nipples.
This is not what a human actually looks like. Because I sent it to you, and it's this picture of me borderline cosplaying as Gyotaro. Who's the demon from Demon Slayer?
I once again just love how you say his name. Gyotaro, but yeah.
Gyotaro.
Yep.
It's borderline I'm cosplaying as him. I'm sucking in and my ribs are
I thought that was you flexing.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm prefacing and bringing this up.
Yep.
That's not what I look like regularly.
Okay. But nobody looks like what they look like when they're flexing
I'm not
regularly.
flexing. I'm sucking in.
I'm
a regular looking boy.
That's what flexing is, sucking in.
That's not true.
You ever seen the competitions? They're like...
But I guess so. But I'm 2-dimensional in this photo. I look whack.
You're flat Stanley.
And I am flat Danley. And the fact that you didn't draw any attention to it, the fact that you were just wow, I've never gotten a shirtless pic from another guy.
Which, I mean, is the more important thing.
Untrue. I was Nick, acknowledge this is a bit right now.
I wasn't let me understand Daniel's physique real quick. I wasn't wow.
We were talking about physique.
Well, we were talking about being athletic.
Right.
Because Dorothy believes she can still run an 8-minute mile. So me and Dorothy have a $1,000 bet currently where if
Jiminy.
If she runs an 8-minute, if she runs under an 8-minute mile, I pay her $1,000. If she goes over, she pays me $1,000.
Wow.
It's big money on the line.
Yeah,
so we're making an event out of it on either Monday or Sunday. So either the day that this is coming out or the next day, we're going to a public track, all of our friends are doing running like challenges either against their friends or significant others. And I've already issued a running challenge to you in line with this.
Yeah.
This is a possible touching grass episode. The boys run the mile because I do cardio all the time. I work out 5 days a week. I can run 5 miles in about 30 minutes.
Okay.
You
5 miles in 30 minutes?
my best time is 5 miles in 30 minutes in 30 seconds.
The only way I'm completing a mile in a day is if I'm tied to 6 huskies. Like,
if I'm being dragged behind a Tacoma.
If my upper half post being drawn and quartered, if that horse just goes for a mile.
So we were like thinking like, oh, maybe Nick tries to run 2 miles in the time it takes Danny to run 1. There's no way you couldn't do a sub 10 mile.
No chance.
I can walk a 10-minute mile.
No chance. Am I doing 10-minute miles?
Did you not run the mile when you were in like middle school
When
or
I was
something?
in middle school, I had an 8-minute mile.
Okay.
I've 100% slapped 2 extra minutes on that at least.
Yeah, that's okay. That's still a 10-minute mile. Isn't bad.
I do truly like roughly 50 steps a day. But the reason we were talking about physique is because you were like, I forget.
Because I was saying that people would relate to the boys run the mile, and you're like, Nick, the everyday man.
True.
The man who runs a 6-minute mile.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, I'm sure some people will relate. We definitely have fit fans. And you were like, this is an anime podcast. I bet you the majority of people are very much closer to me on the spectrum of fitness.
Yeah, which I am not. And Nick was like, you, sir, are skinny, but this is a facade. This is a facade. This is a sham body. And it's going to come back to bite me in my 30s.
Okay.
I eat like
boiled chicken.
One
of the best things you can eat, personally.
Whatever you find in a pig's trough, just people's scraps.
Okay. Little bits of plastic. You're like the worm that eats microplastic.
Yeah, just bits of tin. Like,
yeah, you're just tin shears for teeth.
I have such a facade of a body, which I shouldn't have.
It's called being skinny fat.
Yeah.
Not to shame you.
But I like look reasonably like, you know.
Yeah,
I work out. I just don't do cardio.
I've seen. There's a couple of. These are a loose couple, right there.
These come up. These stay up.
Yeah, you get a little push up.
You came up to me when we went skiing. You were like, what cup are you? And I was like, I don't know. And you came over and you checked. And you were like, that's an A. And I was like, wait, hold on.
Let me, because I've measured myself because, Zorro has, I think it's like 120 centimeter bust. And I was like, I wonder what my bust is.
You shouldn't know that.
Well, Tsunade's 106.
Shouldn't know that.
That's a meme. That's a meme in the Naruto community. It has been forever. Hinata was the second biggest for a long time at 105, 1 centimeter short. Shout out to Naruto. That's ballin' right there.
Yeah.
But then Tsunade got nerfed after the war and lost their upfront warriors.
Yeah, well, they're like 30% chakra, I believe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, her entire body is like 100% chakra.
Oh, true. That's actually true.
It's like a camel's humps where they keep their water, which actually biologically not true.
No?
Camels do not keep water in their humps.
If I chop a camel's hump open like a cactus, I can't just which
also
isn't
not
edible.
True.
I know that.
Yeah. So 0 for 2 on water storing. After she had to use the majority of her Byakuya seal to bring her body back after the war arc, she lost the tatas. But Zoro has a bigger bust than both of them at 120 centimeters. It's insane.
Wow.
And it's just all obviously his barrel chest.
Yeah.
But so I was like, what am I? And I'm a B36. So if anybody's ever ordering Nick a bra, now you know my bra size.
Yeah. I know someone knows. I was sent a maid dress for last Halloween.
I love that.
I have mods who know all my measurements. I don't have them.
Is that how they got you the boots?
That's how they got me the boots too. I have big stiletto heel boots.
No one send me slutty little outfits.
You gotta open your PO box and then be
I don't own a PO box.
Give me slutty things,
Here's
please.
The thing. When I had a PO box, I got a lot of great things, very lovely, that Madara painting right there. That I got, that's incredible. To this day, the only problem is it was before I got beard plugs. So it's the last remnant I have of how shitty my beard used to be.
Choppy ass beard.
And she did a really good job. It was very accurate, but I was we could have filled it in a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I've got incredible things, but also I got a lot of stuff. I was like, ooh, this is garbage.
I treasure all of it, and this is why you don't get sent things anymore.
It was literal garbage. It was hey, here's a used T-shirt of mine. I was I don't fucking fucking want this. Like it wasn't like people being like, oh, here's a painting, and I was like, this is shit.
Here's hair. Here's clumps of my hair.
Literally, people would be like, here's my sweatshirt I really love, and I'm like. This makes me really uncomfortable. I'm like wildly uncomfortable here. So like I would like have to like throw shit away. I was basically throwing people's trash out for them, and I was like, I don't want this anymore. I don't need this for my life.
I have a mod who sends me like an egregious amount of jewelry. I usually wear the bracelets, but I don't have one now.
You have your fingernails
I've painted my nails to match the bracelet, that I
which
love.
you're not wearing.
Yeah.
You keep giving off the illusion of like, does he have a pack of cards on him?
Yeah.
You look, if you had
I look like I could do magic.
You look.
Get me a fedora and a long jacket.
If you hadn't cut your hair, you would look exactly like Chris Angel.
Yeah.
You would, oh my God.
I would look like the mind freak himself.
You would have been mind freaking me right now.
Yeah. Our podcast, do you remember the Mind Freak theme song?
You were much more tapped into Chris Angel than I was.
I loved
apparently.
Mind Freak, but the theme song was just like, Mind Freak! Mind Freak!
You're like, I'm gonna have a mind freak out if you don't fucking stop.
I'm gonna mind sue you if you don't get this off TNT
Like the magic
network.
version of nightmare.
It was so funny.
It's like 2 a.m. It's like, mind freak! Okay, I'll go to bed. I'm sorry.
Like 2 guitar chords, like, just like,
Yeah.
Mind Freak! Like,
I'm sorry. Do you remember the trick he did when he got shot? He like just shot him in like.
What trick? He just got shot.
He just got shot in the hip. They're just like, what?
They just.
They were like, where has no organs or bone?
Yeah.
He's like, the hip, and they just shot him in the hip. I was like, are we out of content?
Yeah, I like that. I like when David Blaine also does not tricks, where he's like, I'm gonna shove this railroad spike through my hand, and then it like goes in. He's like, isn't that crazy? Look at that, isn't that wild? And people are like, oh. Crazy, and they're like. So, like, how'd you do it? And he's like, it's just in my hand. Isn't that wild?
Yeah,
it's like,
just like
that's
bleeding.
not a trick.
Yeah,
like,
you're injured.
You didn't trick anybody. You just did the thing.
So it was like that, and like when he like locked himself in ice for like a week and like almost died.
Yeah, he's just in ice. Like
Is
that's
the
not
trick human endurance?
Yeah,
like I'm confused.
Yeah, but
So long story short, Danny sent me a shirtless picture, and now we're closer because of it.
I suppose.
And now you've all seen it. And listen, what other podcast is going to give you their podcast host shirtless? Listen, Otakus Anonymous, not so anonymous anymore. We are going to blur the nipples though, because otherwise can't give that away.
I mean,
for free.
yeah, we're just deviants.
If your feet were in the photo, we would have blurred them as well.
I can't wait to just get my body more shamed by your audience.
Well,
by your goddamned audience.
Speaking of our first off, not my audience. How dare you? Let's not.
I've never once had such slanderous things brought onto my channel.
So Danny,
what am I referring to, Nick?
Last episode, Danny, I was saying, hey, Danny, you want my tattoos? Because whenever I mess up or don't know anything, Danny's like, hey, should we switch seats? Mm-hmm. But like, I don't even remember what we were talking about. I was like, do you want my tattoos? And somebody was like,
Kirby's Air Ride.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I absolutely remember, you bastard.
Incredible game still to this day. But I was like, somebody was like, I can't help but wonder what Danny would look like with Nick's tattoos and what Nick would look like with Danny's word for word wig arms.
With my goddamned wig arms.
Wig arms.
What?
Hilarious.
What an insane thing to say to a man.
Absolutely fucking so mean.
These are daddy forearms. And yeah, it's a little weird that it stops directly at the bicep.
First off, every man's hair does that. I'd also like to say I usually have that much arm hair. Like this is not substandard.
This is okay arm hair.
That is how much.
This is not wig sufficient.
It's usually my arm hair isn't that dark. It is a little man wolf-y.
Yeah.
But like at least it doesn't go all the way. Like I have friends whose hair goes to their knuckles. And like yours does a little bit on the outside there, not the whole thing.
I've got like a tasteful amount of like Patrick Swayze forearm condition. Like, no, they're not as big, but if I beefed these forearms up a bit, I'd be unstoppable.
So weird.
I'd be front of the line at the salty spittoon.
Top of the head, you were like, I know exactly how hairy Patrick Swayze's.
That's my forearm idol.
You're just like, I have an image in my mind.
You think this is the first time I've been told I have wig arms, bitch?
Is it not your first rodeo? Because it seemed like you were very
absolutely
upset.
not.
Okay.
I was upset. It was like a PTSD kind of.
Yeah.
It was an absurd thing to say to somebody.
Yeah.
And you know what? None of you are seeing my fucking legs. If you think this is bad,
I've seen your legs. I'd say they're about adjacent.
They're way worse.
At the very least, adjacent.
They're significantly worse.
It's not that bad. You're a hairy guy.
You want to peek?
Oh God,
How do I
the
get
pants
this?
are going up. The pants are way too tight.
Off cam. Look at
The
that.
pants are. That's mine. We literally have the same amount of leg hair. That's a man's amount of leg hair.
Yeah, all right.
Listen, all right. The beauty standard. in
Yeah,
Los Angeles.
sorry we got a couple of fucking boy-ass men on here.
Listen, all
Get
I'm saying
used
is
to it,
the beauty,
YouTube.
The beauty standard for Hollywood, and then like even like I'm watching like Love Island with Dorothy. It's like everyone's like, oh, I shaved my chest. Why? Have some chest hair. Why is Captain America hairless? What's going on there? I'm sorry. Why is Wolverine the only way you get a superhero with body hair is if they're Canadian?
Yeah,
How does that
if you
work?
name them after an animal.
Exactly. Like what's going on here?
I prefer
Disgusting.
like a hairless torso on a dude. Like I like shaved my whole torso a bit ago, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm doing this for the rest of my life. Like this looks great.
I don't know, because you just get stubbly when it grows out, and then
Well, you got to
sticks
keep
through
up
your
with
shirt.
it, which is a pain in the ass.
I already shaved my arms, and that's too much work as is.
No,
and then
I
the
feel
more listen, once I get my chest done, I'll probably start shaving it.
True.
It's just everywhere that there's gonna be tattoos, I'm gonna shave because like you should. But yeah, that was our cold open. Talking about the beauty standards of men and the fact that we should stop shaming Danny, even though technically we opened this podcast episode with a shirtless photo of him. But be nice to Danny, goddammit. All right, he's not wig arms. He's, if anything,
Whatever you're about to say, I promise won't help.
toupee arms. It's because it's less because it's
So much
because a
worse.
toupee is
So
it's
much
only a little
worse.
bit of a wig, you know.
Don't tell me I have fucking comb over arms right now.
Because it's not a full. Because a wig is something whole head. Toupee is just the top. It's tasteful.
Anyway, Nick, I have some anime topics I'd like to bring up.
Also, by the way, hi, I'm Nick, also known as Nchammer23. That's been the end of our cold opening. Welcome to Otakus Anonymous, episode 10. We've been doing it for 2.5 months. Wow, and we've made absolutely no progress. We still don't
What are
know
you
how.
talking about? Look, our wide camera's better.
That
Look
does
at the
look-
quality here.
Yeah, we did start
upgraded.
with a $100 Logitech wide cam, and then we upgraded to the personal cams that we use for our singular faces now. And then Danny was like, your cords are shit. Brought his own cords. The camera for a wide angle technically is propped up on 3 hardcover versions of Berserk.
Yeah, 3 deluxe unopened editions of Berserk.
So
the way they're
$150
meant to
of
be
Berserk.
used.
Yeah, exactly. Not opened. Haven't gotten into them yet. So that's apparently going to be our setup. But hey, listen, we're the personality, not the brains.
Yeah, exactly. Hi, I'm Danny Motta, otherwise known as Wig Arms, Grease Ball, or whatever we want to.
Or thin ass.
Yeah, what are you talking about? What do you mean thin ass?
Well, I'm not saying your ass is thin, but we're talking about how you look like, rib sucky Gyotaro.
All right, good. You better watch your fucking tone
I
the
would
next time you
never,
call me thin ass.
Never
The next
step over
time
the
you
line of
dare.
coming at that ass.
All right.
I know where I stand.
All right, we're moving on.
Are we moving to anime topics?
I feel like we should.
We can get there eventually.
Yeah, no, I feel like this was a sufficient amount of time for me to get reamed as is the tradition of every cold open we
Is it
have.
one of no?
Absolutely. That should be on the bingo card. Remember when you were in Japan and you were like, hi, I'm Nick O'Connor. Danny, why are you fucking wet? And I was like, I'm not Nick, but I sure am now.
It's such a shame that episode's audio is so fucky because that is by far and away my best cold opening ever. that was
The worst. I'm never excited for the cold opens.
It's so funny because we've been sitting on a Zoom call for like a half hour. And I was just like, out of nowhere, I was like, you look wet. And they
Yeah.
were just like, you're telling me now?
I had so much time to look nicer for that. And then on top of that, the whole episode is like me and Big O Vision. Like,
Fantastic. Oh, so good.